Welcome, traveler. Before we step into the quiet shadows of this village, remember to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell. Your support keeps the lanterns burning and the stories alive. Now, let us wander together through a night that stretches without end. The village square lies silent under the weight of the night. The old stone well reflects the pale silver of the moon, its surface trembling whenever the wind brushes past. Around the square, cottages lean against one another like weary guardians, their straw roofs heavy with dampness. A tavern sign swings slowly, creaking with each gust. From somewhere faint and distant, the echo of laughter drifts, perhaps a memory, perhaps the ghost of earlier hours. The silence that follows is deep, and it lingers, filling the air like mist. Beyond the square, the blacksmith's forge rests in slumber. The hammer lies still, the coals have dimmed to glowing embers, yet the air still carries the breath of fire. The anvil glimmers faintly in the moonlight, as though remembering every strike it has endured. The smell of iron and smoke lingers, mingling with the cool scent of night. It feels as if the forge itself dreams, waiting for dawn that never comes. From the darkness of the stables comes the soft shuffle of hooves. Horses shift restlessly, their bodies rising and falling with heavy breaths. The hay rustles, dry and fragrant, and a wooden beam creaks beneath their weight. One horse exhales, a long, steady sigh that fogs the air in the pale moonlight. Outside, an owl hoots once, and the sound vanishes into the vast stillness. The stables, though quiet, feel alive with subtle movement, like a heartbeat beneath the silence. Behind shuttered windows, families gather. The glow of fire warms their wooden walls, shadows dancing gently across beams and rafters. A mother hums a lullaby to a restless child, her voice faint, carried through the night air like a secret. A father stirs the fire, coaxing its flames to life, sparks rising and fading into smoke. Outside, the village holds its breath, but within these walls, warmth and love persist against the cold eternity of the night. At the highest point of the village, the church tower rises. Its bell hangs heavy and silent, a dark giant resting in the rafters. Yet it feels as though it remembers its tolls. Weddings, farewells, warnings, celebrations, all now buried beneath the silence of this night. An owl perches upon the edge, eyes glowing, feathers ruffled by the chill breeze. From here, the whole village lies beneath its watch, quiet and unmoving, as though frozen in time. A narrow stone bridge stretches across the stream. Beneath, the water whispers softly, weaving silver threads beneath the arch. The current carries fallen leaves, spinning them slowly into the dark. The sound of flowing water is endless, a lullaby that has sung through centuries, untouched by time. On the far side of the bridge, the fields open wide, but the night thickens, cloaking everything in shadows. Beyond the fields, the forest waits like a silent guardian. Tall trees reach upward, their branches tangling like ancient hands. The wind slips through the leaves, carrying whispers that might be voices, or might be nothing at all. The ground is soft with fallen needles, and every step feels swallowed by the earth. Deeper still, glowing eyes flash for a moment. Fox, deer, or perhaps something older. The forest stretches forever, but the village is never far, always pulling you back into its endless embrace. Behind shuttered windows, families gather. The fields stretch wide and hushed beneath the silver light. Stalks of wheat stand motionless, their tips bending only when the night breeze brushes past. The smell of earth and grass drifts upward, mingling with the faint smoke of distant hearths. Somewhere in the dark, a fox slips silently between rows, its paws leaving no sound upon the soil. The horizon is hidden beneath the thick veil of mist, and the fields seem endless, as though they have no boundary, as though the night itself has swallowed the land. By the edge of the field stands a small shepherd's hut. Its wooden door is closed, but the faint bleat of sheep echoes softly from the pens nearby. The animals rest, huddled together, their wool thick against the night's chill. A lantern burns dimly on a post, its flame trembling but unyielding. The shepherd sleeps within, perhaps dreaming of warmer days, perhaps dreaming of nothing at all. Outside, the night keeps its watch. Back at the heart of the village, the well waits in silence. Its stones are slick with moss, and a wooden bucket leans against its side, half filled with cold water that mirrors the stars. When the wind stirs, the reflection breaks into ripples, scattering the heavens into fragments. A rope hangs above, frayed and worn from countless pulls, yet still strong. The well does not sleep, it listens. It holds the weight of every secret ever whispered into its depths. Narrow street leads past the baker's house. Though his ovens are dark, the scent of bread lingers in the air, as if the walls themselves remember. Wooden trays sit empty by the door, waiting for dawn, waiting for loaves that will not come until the morning sun. For now, only silence remains, heavy and patient. Yet even silence here carries a kind of warmth, as if the village itself breathes quietly through the night. The tavern is closed, its shutters drawn, its benches empty, but echoes remain. Laughter that once filled the hall seems to hang in the air, faint and fading. A single candle burns on a table near the door, its wax melting slowly, marking time that never moves forward. Tankards rest forgotten, their rims sticky with ale, while the wooden floor creaks in the shifting cold. Outside, the sign still swings, and the lantern above the door glows faintly, guiding no one home. On the edge of the village rises the watchtower. A lone guard leans against the wooden rail, his torch sputtering in the damp air. His eyes scan the forest, though no danger comes. The night is quiet, but he knows better than to trust it. Every rustle, every distant howl, every whisper of leaves could be something more. And so he waits, as the hours stretch endlessly, and the stars circle slowly above. A narrow alley curls between cottages, its cobblestones slick with dew. Here the shadows are thickest, clinging to corners like living things. A wooden barrel rests against a wall, half filled with rainwater, and the reflection of the moon wavers upon its surface. The alley seems to breathe cold, narrow, endless. To walk through it is to step into silence itself. At the far edge of the village, where paths divide, an ancient oak tree spreads its branches wide. Its bark is rough and scarred, its roots twisting like the veins of the earth. A lantern hangs from one branch, swinging gently, its light barely pushing back the dark. Beneath the oak, the crossroads stretch into mist. One path leads to the forest, another to the fields, another deeper into the heart of the village. Each road seems endless. Each road whispers its own story. As the night deepens, the village does not change, yet it feels alive. An owl calls from the rooftops. Crickets hum beneath the grass. The wind carries the smell of wood smoke and damp hay. Step by step, corner by corner, the village stretches without end. The houses repeat, the alleys repeat, the fields repeat. Yet each carries some new detail. A forgotten bucket, a shutter left ajar, a lantern with a dim flame clinging to life. The night is eternal, and so the journey continues. And so, traveler, you find yourself where you began. The square, the well, the cottages, the tavern sign. But it is not the same. The silence is deeper. The shadows are longer. The night grows older, yet it does not break. You walk again and again through the forge, the stables, the cottages, the tower, the stream. Each step is familiar, yet each step is new. The village has no end. The night has no dawn, and your wandering has no final breath. Above the rooftops, the sky spreads like a vast black sea. Stars shimmer faintly, scattered like silver dust across the velvet night. They do not move quickly. They do not fade, but they shine with patient certainty. Sometimes a cloud drifts by, veiling them for a moment, only to slip away, leaving the heavens bare once again. The villagers sleep below, unaware of the endless watch kept by the sky above. At the corner of the square stands an old clock fixed into the wall of a stone house. Its hands are frozen, long broken, pointing to an hour that never changes. The silence of its ticking is louder than any sound could be. And yet, every passerby feels as though the clock is still counting, Not time as men know it, but something deeper, the weight of the endless night itself. A cat slinks between the shadows of the cottages, its eyes gleaming like twin embers in the dark. Its tail flicks silently as it moves, brushing past barrels, slipping through fences, climbing across rooftops with ease. Now it pauses, listening, ears twitching at some sound too faint for human ears. Then, with a sudden leap, it disappears once more into the endless maze of alleys, vanishing like smoke. A small garden rests behind a crooked wooden fence. Herbs grow in tidy rows, their leaves glistening with dew. The air carries the faint scent of mint, rosemary, and thyme, drifting into the night like a whispered blessing. The garden gate swings slightly, creaking softly as though stirred by an unseen hand. Within, the plants seem to glow faintly, nourished by both moonlight and silence. The marketplace stands deserted. Stalls of wood and canvas stand in rows, their counters bare, their baskets empty. Once they held fruits, breads, cloth, and trinkets. Now they hold nothing but shadow. The awnings flap softly in the breeze, and a forgotten apple rolls slowly across the cobblestones, as if time itself had left it behind. The market sleeps, yet even in sleep it waits for a dawn that never comes. At the farthest edge of the lane lies a cottage, darker than the rest. The shutters hang broken, its roof sagging under age. No fire burns inside, no voices whisper. The door sways loosely on its hinges, creaking whenever the wind touches it. And yet, there is a sense of presence here, a memory of those who once lived, of laughter now faded, of lives now gone. The cottage is empty, yet it is not alone. A faint drizzle begins to fall, almost too soft to hear. Raindrops patter against the stone paths, slide down rooftops, and gather in shallow puddles. The mist thickens, swallowing shapes, blurring lanterns into hazy orbs of light. The night breathes deeper now, carrying the scent of wet earth and wood. The rain does not disturb the silence. It becomes part of it, a rhythm without beginning or end. Through the mist, a lantern appears, moving slowly. Its flame sways, casting long shadows across the walls. Yet no figure carries it, no footsteps follow. It drifts gently down the street as if guided by an unseen hand, pausing at corners, turning toward forgotten alleys. When it finally stops, it hovers for a moment, flickers, and then fades into the night, leaving nothing but darkness behind. At the edge of the village lies a pond, still and dark as polished glass. Lilies float upon its surface, unmoving, their petals luminous in the moonlight. A pair of swans drift silently across, their reflections following like ghosts. Not a ripple disturbs the water except for their slow glide. It is a mirror of the night sky itself, black, eternal, unbroken. The carpenter's workshop smells of pine and oak. Tools lie neatly upon the benches, untouched since the setting of the sun. Sawdust clings to the floor like fine sand, and a half-finished chair waits patiently in the corner. Though no hands work, the air feels heavy with labor long completed, as if the workshop remembers the rhythm of craft, the steady shaping of wood into form. Even in silence, creation lingers here. In one home, a hearth still burns, though faintly. The fire has shrunk to glowing embers, its warmth fragile, its light soft. A kettle rests above it, whispering faint sighs of steam. Beside the fire, an old man dozes in his chair, his breath steady, his dreams unknown. The night surrounds him, cradling him in its stillness. Beneath one of the cottages lies a wooden trapdoor, half hidden by dirt and time. It creaks open to reveal a cellar, its air cool and damp, filled with the smell of stone and earth. Barrels line the walls, some empty, some still brimming with cider or ale. Cobwebs glisten faintly in the lantern glow. Down here, the world feels older, untouched by the night above, as though the earth itself remembers secrets the villagers have long forgotten. A wide barn stands on the edge of the fields, its doors heavy and tall. Inside, the scent of straw fills the air, and piles of hay rest in golden heaps, glowing faintly beneath cracks of moonlight. Wooden beams stretch high above, and pigeons roost quietly among them. The barn is vast, echoing, yet perfectly still. The night holds even here, filling the silence like water fills a vessel. From a doorway, a dog lies awake. Its eyes shine in the dim light, ears pricked, tail resting flat upon the ground. Though all else sleeps, the dog does not. It listens to the creak of beams, the shuffle of unseen creatures, the sigh of wind through grass. It guards without sound, its loyalty stronger than the silence. And still, the night stretches on. Beyond the stream lies the river, broader, deeper, moving with steady rhythm. Its surface shimmers with fragments of moonlight, breaking into patterns with each ripple. A small boat rests upon the bank, tied loosely to a post, swaying gently with the current. The sound of water against wood is eternal, soft and endless. The river flows, but in the night, it seems to flow nowhere at all, circling upon itself, as timeless as the stars above. Along the street, windows glow faintly. Each shuttered frame holds a reflection of firelight, flickering like a heartbeat in the darkness. Some glow bright, some dim, some nearly fading. Each one is different, yet together they form a rhythm, like constellations across the walls of the village. They watch as you pass, silent, warm, eternal. Every window hides a world, every flame a story. In a quiet corner stands the cobbler's shop. His tools rest neatly upon the bench. Awls, hammers, needles, thread. A pair of shoes sits unfinished, leather stiff beneath the touch of night. The smell of oil and tanned hide lingers faintly, strong even in silence. The cobbler sleeps, but his work waits patiently, as though time does not move here, as though the shoes will never be finished and never need to be. Upon a wooden fence, a rooster perches. Its feathers glimmer faintly, red and gold against the pale moonlight. But unlike every other morning, it does not crow. Its beak stays shut, its head bowed. Perhaps it too knows that dawn will not come, that this night has no end. And so it waits, unmoving, as though frozen in time. Inside a cottage, a loom stands with threads stretched taut, half-woven cloth waiting for a hand that will not return until morning. The shuttle rests midway across the weave, as though abandoned mid-motion. In the silence, it feels almost alive, as though the loom could finish its work on its own, weaving endlessly in the dark, creating fabric no eye will ever see. High beneath a thatched roof, sparrows nest together. They sleep in clusters, feathers puffed against the cold. The air is soft with the sound of their tiny breaths, a rhythm so fragile it seems it could vanish with the slightest breeze. Yet it holds steady, like a song without melody, hidden within the silence of the night. At the edge of the square, leaves gather in piles. The wind stirs them softly, sending them rolling across the cobblestones in gentle waves. They rustle faintly, the only movement in the stillness. Each leaf carries the memory of autumn, of sunlight long gone. Now they belong to the night, drifting endlessly, never settling, always returning to the same corners and alleys. In one window, a candle burns brighter than all others. Its flame never wavers, never fades, never grows small. Hours pass, but it stands the same, untouched by time. The wax does not melt, the wick does not shrink. It is a light eternal, a mystery within the endless night. And though no one tends it, it will not die. Beyond the village lies the quarry, where stone was once hewn for walls and towers. Now it lies silent, pools of water filling the carved pits. The rocks shine pale and cold beneath the moon, jagged teeth against the earth. The echoes of hammers seem to linger, though no hands strike here anymore. The quarry is both grave and monument, a place where silence is carved into the land itself. In the alleys, small shapes dart between barrels and crates. Rats, swift and silent, moving in their own hidden world. Their claws tap against stone. Their whiskers twitch as they vanish into gaps and holes. Though unseen, they are many, and their presence fills the village with unseen life. Even in silence, even in stillness, the shadows stir. At the heart of the village stands the inn. Its sign hangs heavy, its benches empty, its rooms dark. No laughter echoes from its halls, no music drifts into the street. Yet the smell of roasted meat still lingers faintly, and the wooden floors creak as though footsteps had just passed. The inn waits for travelers who will not arrive, for voices that will not speak, for dawn that will not break. Inside a small study, a scroll rests upon a desk. A quill lies beside it, tip stained with ink, as though the writer paused mid-thought. The words stretch half-finished, curling across parchment like vines. Perhaps they are records, perhaps prayers, perhaps nothing more than names. Yet the silence feels heavy, as though the scroll longs to be read, as though the story waits for a voice to give it breath. Near the forest's edge, tall pines rise like pillars into the sky. The wind slips between them, creating a low, steady hum. It is almost a voice, almost a song, carrying secrets older than the village itself. The trees sway slowly, and with each movement, their whispers deepen, folding into the night like an endless hymn. From the bell tower, a flutter stirs. Bats burst forth in a swarm, wings beating against the air in a chorus of whispers. They wheel in circles, darting through the mist, their shadows flickering across the walls. For a moment, the sky is alive with movement. Then, as suddenly as they came, they vanish into the darkness, swallowed whole by the night. In a corner of the blacksmith's home rests a chest, iron-bound and locked. Its surface is worn, its hinges rusted, yet it remains sealed. No one knows what it holds: coins, tools, letters, relics, perhaps nothing at all. Yet, in the stillness of night, it seems to hum faintly, as if guarding a secret it will never share. And so, the journey continues. The forge, the stables, the cottages, the fields, the forest, the square. Each corner revisited, each shadow seen anew. The night deepens, yet it does not end. Time folds upon itself, silence breathes, and the village remains eternal. Step by step, moment by moment, you wander without end through the long night, where dawn will never come, and the story never ceases. At the edge of the churchyard stands a weathered wooden cross, its surface rough with age. The moonlight strikes it gently, casting a long shadow across the grass. No voices pray here, no bells toll, and yet the place feels sacred. The silence itself becomes a hymn, a prayer whispered by the night. Between two cottages hangs a rope with clothespins still clinging. No garments sway, only the rope itself, shifting in the breeze. The faint smell of soap lingers in the air, though the wash is long gone. It is as though time has paused, leaving only the memory of daily life frozen beneath the moon. Within a tavern kitchen lies a cellar of spices and herbs. Even in darkness, their scent fills the air: pepper, cinnamon, cloves, thyme. Glass jars glimmer faintly, catching stray reflections of lantern light. The air here is rich, heavy with promise, as though the village dreams not only in silence but in flavor, in aroma, in endless memory. Beyond the cottages rises a stone, taller than a man, older than the village. No one recalls who placed it here or why. Moss creeps along its base, runes faintly carved but worn beyond reading. It stands alone, silent, as though watching the centuries pass, unmoved by time, unmoved by night. In the corner of the tavern lies a single tankard, overturned, its contents dried long ago. Dust clings to its rim, yet the wood still smells faintly of ale. It is a simple object, yet it feels like a relic, a trace of voices that once filled the hall with laughter. Now it rests in silence, a vessel emptied not only of drink, but of time. Upon the cobblestones glimmers a coin, catching the light of the moon. It rests alone, perhaps dropped, perhaps placed, perhaps forgotten. No hand claims it, no eye sees it but yours. Yet it feels important, as though this single coin carries the weight of unseen stories, silent trades, unspoken debts. In the inn's upper room, a lute rests against a chair. The strings glisten faintly, untouched. Once, it must have filled the halls with music, guiding feet to dance, hearts to stir. Now it waits, silent, eternal, In the stillness, you almost hear its echo, a song half-remembered, drifting through the endless night. For a moment, clouds gather thick across the heavens. The stars vanish, swallowed whole by the dark. The village lies beneath a sky of black velvet, without light, without shape. The air feels heavier, thicker, as though the world itself is holding its breath. Then, slowly, the clouds part, and the stars return, as if reborn, as if time had looped once more. A wicker basket rests beside a door, filled with grain. The kernels shine faintly in the lantern glow, each one a promise of bread yet to be baked. The basket has waited since daylight, yet now it seems to wait for nothing at all. Still, it remains, as though the endless night has claimed even the simplest labors of the day. At the forest edge stands a tree with a hollow trunk. Inside, shadows deepen, hiding the unknown. Perhaps animals shelter there, perhaps nothing at all. The hollow breathes with the wind, exhaling cool air, inhaling silence. It feels like a doorway, but a doorway to nowhere, leading only deeper into the night. A tiny chapel rests at the far side of the square, its doors locked, its windows shuttered. No candles burn upon its altar. No prayers rise from its pews. Yet the air outside carries a quiet reverence, as though the stones themselves whisper devotion. Even in silence, faith lingers, unbroken by the endless night. Upon the cobbles lies a single white feather, fallen from no bird you can see. It stirs with the wind, drifting a little, but never leaving the center of the path. Its whiteness glows faintly, a fragile light against the darkness. It feels out of place, and yet perfectly belonging, as though the night itself placed it there. By the tavern wall rests a cart, its wheel splintered, its bed cracked. Once it carried goods, harvests, barrels of ale. Now it carries only dust. The broken wheel leans awkwardly, frozen mid-journey, forever unfinished. Even in ruin, it feels alive, as though it waits for hands that will never return. In one cottage kitchen, a pot rests upon the hearth, empty save for the faint scent of broth. The spoon rests inside, balanced across its rim, abandoned in mid-stir. The air is thick with the memory of meals shared, voices murmuring, hands passing bread. Now the silence eats instead, and the pot cools, forgotten. A narrow path winds between tall pines, their shadows stretching across the ground like black rivers. The air smells of resin and soil, sharp and clean. Each step along the path feels heavier, as though it leads not forward but deeper, deeper into the endless weave of the night. From the belfry, the owl cries once more. Its voice pierces the silence, low and haunting, echoing across rooftops and alleys. Then it falls quiet again, watching, waiting. The village feels held beneath its gaze, as though the owl is the true keeper of the night. Inside the scribe's chamber, parchment lies stacked upon a wooden desk. Ink pots rest nearby, one tipped, staining the wood with dark rivers. Words cover the pages, some neat, some hurried, some abandoned. They tell stories, prayers, records, names. Yet they are unread, unseen, untouched. The silence keeps them, guarding them from the world. Hanging from a doorway is a garland of flowers, once bright, now withered. Their petals curl, dry and fragile, yet they cling to the rope that binds them. Perhaps they were hung for a festival or a wedding or a birth. Now they hang forgotten, their beauty fading, their silence louder than song. At the far wall of the village, a wooden post stands, marked by arrows buried deep. A target rests crooked, painted rings faded by time. A cart stacked with hay rests at the edge of the square. The bundles glow pale under the moonlight, their scent rich and earthy. A few straws drift loose, carried by the breeze. The cart does not move, its wheels sunk slightly into the damp soil, as though it has been waiting for years, waiting for a dawn that never arrives. A sudden flutter stirs the silence. A sparrow darts from a rooftop, wings cutting sharply through the air. It circles once, twice, then vanishes into the night, leaving behind only the echo of movement. The stillness closes again, as though nothing had disturbed it at all. In one cottage window, 3 candles burn side by side. Their flames flicker in unison, swaying as if guided by one breath. Though the night is endless, their light stands strong, a small trinity of warmth against the vast dark. They do not falter. They do not fade. Far beyond the village, hoofprints mark the dirt road, pressed deep but fresh. Yet no rider is seen, no horse passes. The tracks lead onward, fading into mist. The silence follows them, swallowing their story before it can be told. Behind the stables lies a shed, its roof collapsed, its timbers rotting. Tools lie scattered within, rusted, broken, long forgotten. The air smells of damp wood and decay. Yet the ruin feels alive, as though the shed remembers its purpose and mourns the years that have passed. From the shadow of the forest, a deer steps into the field. Its eyes gleam in the moonlight, its breath rising in clouds. It stands perfectly still, ears twitching, body tense, as though listening to a voice no one else can hear. Then, without sound, it slips back into the trees, vanishing into silence. A wicker basket sits upon a doorstep, filled with apples. Their skins glisten faintly, red and gold against the pale glow. One has rolled free, resting upon the cobblestones, as if waiting for a hand that will never return. The fruit is fresh. In the manor's hall, a corridor stretches long and narrow, lined with torches. Their flames flicker, casting restless shadows along the walls. Each shadow stretches forward like reaching hands. The corridor feels endless, leading always deeper, never closer to an end. Inside a cottage bedroom stands a mirror, cracked across its surface. The fracture splits reflections into many faces, none whole, none true. In the dim glow, each fragment gleams faintly, like pieces of another world trying to break through. The mirror does not show what is, it shows what might have been. Beyond the fields, far past the forest, lies water that stretches beyond sight. Its waves lap gently against sand, though no tide moves, no gull cries. The shore is empty, but it carries the sound of eternity, the endless breathing of the sea beneath the endless breathing of the night. High in the church tower, the great bell hangs. Its bronze face glows faintly beneath the moon, its clapper unmoving. Once it rang for weddings, for danger, for death. Tonight it hangs heavy, mute yet powerful. Even in silence, the bell seems to sing, a song only the night can hear. Coiled near the well lies a rope, frayed and knotted. It smells of water and earth, its fibers worn by countless hands. No bucket hangs from it now, yet it seems to breathe faintly with the breeze, shifting as though remembering every draw of water, every thirst quenched, every story begun. Beside the stream lies a net, tangled and damp. It glistens with dew, empty of fish, yet heavy as though burdened with invisible weight. The smell of river water clings to it. Its knots and threads stretch endlessly, like a web woven not for fish, but for the night itself. Above, the moon hides half its face, casting shadows longer and deeper. The light feels softer, weaker, but more secret. Every corner, every alley, every doorway grows twice as mysterious beneath the divided glow. A dog wanders the square, its head low, its pace slow. It sniffs the ground, pauses, listens, then moves on. No master follows, no voice calls. The hound roams freely, yet not aimlessly. It seems to search, though no one knows for what. In the storehouse rests a barrel filled with salt. The grains glimmer like crystals in the faint lantern light, pale as frost. They preserve what is placed within, holding time still. In this endless night, they are at home, guardians of permanence against decay. A single lantern hangs from the stone wall, flame shivering inside its glass. It has burned all night, yet the oil never drains. The lantern is a sentinel, a watcher. Its glow does not warm, does not invite. It only reminds that light still exists, however small. Across the stream, feathers lie scattered upon the stones of the bridge. White, gray, black, they drift and gather, as though some unseen wings have brushed the village. They glow faintly, forming a path across the arch, guiding steps toward places unknown. At the far side of the churchyard stands an iron gate, its bars twisted, its hinges stiff. Beyond lie stones carved with names long forgotten, some leaning, some broken, some swallowed by grass. The silence here is deeper, heavier, yet not unkind. It is a silence of rest, of waiting, of memory. In the forest clearing lies a circle of stones, blackened by fire long extinguished. No smoke rises, no warmth lingers, yet the place hums faintly, as though echoes remain. The stones glow in moonlight, silent witnesses to countless nights, countless gatherings, countless secrets. Atop a wooden platform, built high among the trees, lies the hunter's perch. Empty now, bough long gone, it overlooks both forest and field. The wind sighs against its beams, carrying scents of pine and soil. The perch waits, as though a hunter might return at any moment, though no footsteps approach. Rain has left the cobblestones slick, puddles forming in the cracks. They mirror the lanterns, the stars, the moon. Each step ripples the sky reflected within, breaking the heavens into fragments before they settle once more. The street feels like a map of both earth and sky, drawn in water and light. Near the carpenter's bench lies a great wooden beam, carved and shaped, but never placed. It smells of resin and sawdust, heavy with the memory of craft. It rests unused, yet its presence is strong, as though it belongs not in a roof, not in a wall, but exactly where it lies. In the soil of a field lies a seashell, pale and perfect. It does not belong here, far from the sea, yet it rests as though always meant to be. Perhaps it was carried by a traveler, or left by ancient waters. Now it is part of the night, another mystery swallowed by silence. In the manor, a corridor stretches once again, lined with doors. Each door is closed, each lock untouched. The torches flicker, but the corridor does not end. Step after step, it repeats, door after door, torch after torch. You walk forever, yet arrive nowhere. At the edge of the forest, birch trees stand tall, their pale bark glowing in the moonlight. Their leaves tremble softly, whispering secrets only they can hear. The grove feels gentle, lighter than the pines, yet still eternal. Each trunk stands like a pillar, holding up the silence of the sky. Upon the highest roof of the village sits an owl, silent and still. Its eyes gleam like twin lanterns, unblinking, unwavering. It watches not just the square, not just the forest, but everything, the cottages, the stables, the stream, the fields. It has always been watching. It will always be watching. In the square, lanterns form a circle, their glow soft and golden. The air within feels warmer, gentler, safer. Yet the circle is empty. No feet stand within, no voices speak. The lanterns burn on,